Aries. When a domestic boundary feels heavier than expected, don't decide in a rush. Today you're standing at two doors. Say yes out of habit and watch the tension ease for a moment. Or slow down and give that boundary a shape. Mercury is stationing retrograde, so something said at home no longer gets to stay implied. This is home. A simple request, a tired yes to keep the peace, a threshold nobody names. The first door calms the room for an hour. The second protects the boundary. Aries, the dangerous part is not anger. It is the quick gesture you make so you don't feel exposed. A house is not truly calm if you are the one paying for the calm every time. Move, name who does what, quietly before you answer. Hold off. Confirm only what you can actually carry. Re-listen before the next home-related yes you give out of fatigue. For Taurus, recovery today is not escape. It's maintenance of clarity. What keeps repeating today deserves attention. A physical margin that needs defending is knocking at the same door in a different tone. With the sun active on the identity-body-presence axis, what used to feel peripheral now takes authority and asks for an adult reply. This is the moment when recovery stops looking like a luxury and becomes the base that keeps the rest from falling apart. The soft choice today is not escape. Defending a physical margin gives you back clarity before pressure decides for you. If you keep treating recovery as optional, the day can end with more presence lost than real results. Taurus, the risk is confusing solidity with inertia just when a clean step is needed. If you keep sacrificing that tired part, clarity pays before the outcome does. Move, drop one commitment, protect 1 hour, and answer only after you've breathed. Keep it close. Clarity returns when you stop pulling everything tight. Gemini. Attraction only matters today if it leaves your scale intact, not if it forces you to chase. The clean point is simple. Say where a distance that speaks louder than words ends, and where your choice begins. Mercury moves exchange into the resources money-value axis. So if you hear only half the sentence, you risk choosing on reflex. It could be the start of something real, or just a way to buy peace for a few hours. The heart is not looking for a fairy tale. It wants to know whether a distance that speaks louder than words can hold an honest sentence. A clean connection does not need you to betray your boundary to seem soft. Gemini, your speed only helps if it does not become another way to postpone the truth. The loss is not feeling too much. It is letting the need for a reply outweigh your clarity. Move. Notice what actually lights you up. Then choose the gesture that keeps you inside yourself. Write this down before you answer, just to be chosen. Cancer. If the value is unclear, don't fill the gap with politeness. This is not just a sky topic. A negotiation that needs clear edges enters your day through body, choice, and position. With the sun active, the resources, money, value axis stops being secondary and becomes the lens through which everything else is read. A small request can suddenly tell you who is really setting the price. Cancer, protecting everyone gets expensive when you lose your center at the exact point that matters. If nobody names the bill, a negotiation that needs clear edges risks becoming the usual advantage of whoever pushes harder. The stake is not letting social or emotional discomfort fix the price for you. If the practical measure stays vague behind polite language, the price gets set by whoever insists the most. Move. Name the cost, the time, or the limit at the same moment you feel the discomfort rising. Come back here before you treat your time like something with no price tag. Leo. Don't miss an opening that needs checking right away. It looks small, but it can move the day. Mark the limit without drama. An opening that needs checking right away needs an edge, not another explanation. The sun lights up the identity-body-presence axis, so what was peripheral now asks for center and responsibility. This is the scene where you feel something could really move, but only if you stop waiting for an aesthetic guarantee. If you keep watching too long, that gap may lose weight not because it was false, but because you didn't choose its moment. The stake is knowing whether you want the movement you say you want, or just the comfort of imagining it. Leo, pride only helps when it leaves room for the real choice. If the real possibility stays suspended, tomorrow you may call chance what was choice today. Move. Don't open 3 scenarios. Confirm the small step that keeps the best possibility alive. Carry it with you through the next few hours before the opening starts to feel normal. Virgo. Today, care is not generic softness. It's a practical choice. You do not need to solve the whole story. You need to cross the minimum threshold that a visible threshold of fatigue is placing in front of you. With the sun in the picture, the vision travel study axis wants coherence. If one part is pretending, it shows. A quieter room, one notification left outside, a body that stops negotiating. Recovery works today only if a visible threshold of fatigue stops being in tension and becomes concrete protection of your rhythm. Virgo. Real precision does not avoid choice. It makes it sharper. The stake is not burning good energy to support a shape that no longer serves. If you keep forcing that need, the price can show up as the wrong tone, an impulsive reply, or exhaustion running everything. Move. Choose one concrete pause, not a symbolic one. Less exposure, less noise, more real breathing room. Save it before you call strength what is really just consumption. Libra. Don't break the silence just to get out of guilt. Venus activates rest, closure, and inner preparation, so the choice cannot stay automatic. The danger is not loud. It persuades you to over-explain. It can look like a notification you might ignore, an explanation you do not owe, a door that should stay closed. For Libra, silence becomes clear when you stop treating conflict like failure. Explaining yourself right away can seem correct. Today, it may be the way you empty yourself out. Silence is not emptiness. The risk is that you confuse silence with disappearance. If the explanation serves only to keep guilt away, it is not honesty. It is noise. The strong move is not to explain yourself when silence is already doing the cleaning. Is silence protecting you? Or are you breaking it only because of anxiety? Close one door, one notification, one task. Then breathe before you answer. Move. Close one door, one notification, one task. Then breathe before replying. Send it to whoever has to choose today without buying peace. Scorpio. For Scorpio, the right yes today has a short window and a cost in clarity. Narrow the field. A useful move that needs to be formalized is where the day stops being generic. With Jupiter expanding the home root's emotional base area, the point is not having more, it is knowing what deserves space. This is the kind of opening that seems too small to change the day until you miss it. If you keep watching too long, a useful move that needs to be formalized can lose weight not because it was false, but because you did not choose its moment. If you wait to feel safe, the useful moment can become something else. Scorpio, the risk is managing the whole scene perfectly and leaving the center unresolved. If you do not give body to the real possibility, tomorrow you may remember it as a signal, not a choice. Move. Choose where the opening is most real and give it a minimal shape right away so it cannot evaporate. Send it to whoever risks missing the right opening for the sake of one more guarantee. Sagittarius. If a professional choice that calls for a cut starts to squeeze, maybe it doesn't need patience. It needs a move. The signal doesn't shout. It shows in the way a professional choice that calls for a cut changes your posture, tone, or pace. The sun puts work, method, and health at the center of the room. Understanding it is not enough. You have to direct it. This is the scene where you realize the blockage needs less thinking and more action. The breakthrough today doesn't need noise. That move wants a precise gesture, not another analysis. Sagittarius, freedom today comes from giving shape to the right pressure. The practical stake is turning tension into direction before it becomes pure drain. If you do not touch the necessary move, the day passes and the problem keeps its throne. Move. Choose the point that blocks everything else and reduce it today with one act that leaves a mark. Re-listen before you wait for permission that is not coming. Capricorn, today you do not need to win the day. You need to reclaim a piece of breath. Do not change the story. Change the focus. A need to return to your center shows you where presence belongs. Saturn weighs on the home root's emotional base area, so the choice asks for structure, not justification. This is the point where recovery stops feeling like a luxury and becomes the base that keeps the rest from falling apart. Shelter only works if it becomes an act. Returning to your center needs real space, not a promise. Capricorn, the risk is managing the weight with skill and still letting it sit on the throne. If you keep treating recovery as optional, the day can end with more presence lost than real results. If you keep sacrificing that tired part, clarity pays before the result does. Move. Remove the gesture that drains you before adding one that only makes you feel efficient. Send it to whoever still confuses automatic endurance with quality presence. Aquarius. Uncomfortable truth doesn't come to hurt you. It comes because the alibi has worn out. It's a silence, a too beautiful explanation, a defense that looks like character. Don't widen the scene too much. One person, one sentence, one gesture, and a piece that costs too much becomes legible. The sun's passage brings the home root's emotional base area into focus. You need a choice you can actually sustain. The more you try to stay lucid without feeling, the more a piece that costs too much finds a way to be heard. Aquarius. Today, intuition matters only when it lands and takes shape. The useful truth today does not humiliate. It simplifies the point you had been making complicated. The loss is not feeling the uncomfortable point. It is spending another day defending the version that keeps you stuck. Move. Do not react from the wound. Choose the limit that will still be clean tomorrow. Send it to whoever keeps understanding everything except the price of their best alibi. Pisces. Today, value is decided in a sentence you cannot leave vague. The shift begins with one small gesture. A promise that needs measure takes direction the moment you strip away ambiguity. With Neptune on the resources money value axis, intuition helps only if it does not turn into comfortable fog. This is a practical question dressed up as a favor. If you do not measure it, it takes up more room than expected. If nobody names the bill, a promise that needs measure risks becoming the usual advantage of whoever pushes better than you. Pisces, the day rewards you if you turn intuition into action, not just atmosphere. The stake is knowing whether you truly want to be generous, or whether you are just avoiding the uncomfortable moment of clarity. If the practical measure stays implicit, the cost does not disappear. It just moves from the amount to your availability. Move. Write the amount, the time, and the limit. Confirm only what stays clean. Come back here before you confuse availability with unmeasured giving.